Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Dopamine. Today is the 2nd of May and this day is the birthday of a great man whom the world knows by the name Satyajit Ray. Satyajit Ray, an inevitable part of the Bengali film industry and an eminent personality in the world of Bengali literature. As a tribute to him on his birthday, we are trying to share with you a glimpse of his life based on the book Satyajit Ray, The Inner Eye by Andrew Robinson and published by IB Tauris. Satyajit Ray was born on the 2nd of May 1921. His father Sukumar Ray was also a well-known name in Bengali literature and a sketch artist. His mother was Suprabha Ray. He was born in a wealthy family in Calcutta, which was famed for the high education standards of its members. We come to know about the childhood of Ray from a short memoir which he had written depicting his early childhood. It's called Jokhon Choto Chilam, meaning when I was young. Ray was also an expert sketch artist, and his book mostly consists of sketches of his family, friends, and teachers. He had spent most of his time at the 100 Gorpar Road house in northern Kolkata, which actually belonged to his grandfather Upendra Kishore Ray. Satyajit's childhood was much like the children which he had depicted in his films. He had lost his father at a very tender age of about 2.5 years and could remember only one thing about his father, Sukumar Ray. This memory belongs to a house by the river Ganga in which Sukumar had spent his last days with his family. Once, Sukumar Ray sat indoors painting by the window and all of a sudden called out, "Ship coming." To this, fascinated young Satyajit ran out into the courtyard of the house only to find a huge steamer passing by. Satyajit Ray had spent most of his childhood in his grandfather Upendra Kishore's house at the Gorpar Road in northern Kolkata. His grandfather had also set up a printing press named U. Ray and Sons, which later on became the seat of publication of Satyajit's weekly journal, the Sandesh Potrika. This Sandesh Potrika used to feature Satyajit's writings and sketches. This Sandesh Potrika was really unique in its color codes and contents. In those days, it was really difficult to find cheap paper in Kolkata for printing this journal. That is why Satyajit used to import good quality papers at a very low price from Germany for this Sandesh Potrika exclusively. With the passage of time, this Sandesh Potrika had lost its glory. It was later in 1961 revived by Satyajit Ray himself back to its previous glory. In his childhood, Satyajit shared a strong bonding with his aunt Punyalata and her two daughters Kalyani and Ruby. They used to take great care of Satyajit as a kid. Satyajit's family members considered him to be a jewel in their family, and that is why they used to call him Manik, which later on became his nickname. Manik is a Bengali word which means jewel. This name continued with his identity for a very long time. Later on, in his working years, he was called by his fellow mates as Manik Da. The suffix Da added a unique charm to this name, and he continued to be known by this name Manik Da for a very long time in his working life. Something that irritated Satyajit Ray in his early childhood was the practice of Brahmoism in his family. He was not actually against Brahmoism, but what displeased him were the rituals associated with Brahmoism. Getting up early in the morning, going to the Brahmo temples at different times for performing the rituals are some examples of things that irritated him a lot. Thus, Satyajit Ray discarded Brahmoism from his life towards the end of his teenage. In his interviews later on, he told that he preferred Hinduism more than Brahmoism or Christianism. With growing age, Satyajit Ray got more and more interested in literature. His grandpa's house at the Godbar Road was filled with shelves of books. With these books, he started spending most of his time. Not only did he go through these books, but also evaluated them. For instance, he translated the Iliad and Odyssey into Bengali, among many others. He also corresponded with the widow of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and obtained the right to translate his writings into Bengali. 1926 saw the decline of Upendra Kishore's press and the Sandesh Patrika. By January 1927, the press was totally shut down and Upendra Kishore's house went on to be auctioned. The condition of Satyajit and his mother had already gone down after the death of Satyajit's father, Sukumar Ray, and the condition at hand only accelerated the deterioration process of their life. This led Satyajit's mother to decide to take him to live with her brothers. Hence they shifted to southern Kolkata to live with his maternal uncles. Satyajit did not visit his grandpa's house at the Godbar Road for the next 40 years. His mother struggled a lot to give him a good schooling and a good life. But it was becoming difficult for Satyajit to cope up with the family of his maternal uncles. They were not much into literature or art. They were more men of money and words. Then came Satyajit's addiction towards films. In those days, the stereoscopes and magic lanterns were very popular toys among Bengali boys. The magic lantern was a box with a tube at the front containing a lens, a chimney at the top, and a handle at the right hand. The film ran with 2 reels and a kerosene lamp as a source of light. Satyajit wrote in his memoir, "Who knows? Perhaps this was the beginning of my addiction to films." The practice of watching films had started back when he lived at his grandpa's house at the Godbar Road. But this increased its frequency with the passage of time, and by 1930s, he was watching films very frequently, especially Hollywood ones, with a few Bengali ones included in between. He used to keep a notebook of himself to give star ratings to different films and at the same time noting down various aspects of the best of the films he watched. For instance, the endings, the beginnings, etc. etc. And all these facts later on formed the base of his filmmaking career. For his higher education, Satyajit joined the Shantiniketan, which was established by Rabindranath Tagore. He shared the same thoughts as Rabindranath Tagore that Kolkata's education at that time was mostly influenced by the Western culture and Bengal needed to have an education system of its own. But at the same time, he was quite reluctant to leave his life in Kolkata and establish in a somewhat village far off from Kolkata. But then he did in 1940. That was when he came to know Rabindranath Tagore as closely as never before. Rabindranath Tagore inspired him a lot, which we could see almost half a century later in Satyajit Ray's films that were greatly influenced by Rabindranath Tagore's writings. A few of Satyajit's films based on Rabindranath's writings are Ghore Baire, Teen Konna, and so on. Satyajit studied in Shantiniketan from 1940 to 1942. During this time, in 1941, the great Rabindranath Tagore took his last breath in his Kolkata residence, the Jorashako mansion. Satyajit Ray with some of his friends had travelled to Kolkata to bid farewell to the great Tagore. He was astonished to see the streets of Kolkata flooded with people who were rushing to see their beloved Tagore for one last time. Being a student of Shantiniketan, Satyajit was allowed to enter the premises of the Jorashako mansion, but he was not allowed to go close to Tagore. This incident happened to be one of the most remarkable happenings in his life. The procession of Tagore's dead body astonished Satyajit so much that he used the footage of Tagore's dead body being carried through the streets of Kolkata, followed by thousands and thousands of people, in one of his films as an opening scene later on. So, let's put a full stop over here for today. We will be continuing with this topic in our next video on this collection. There are a lot lesser known facts about the great Satyajit Ray, and we are trying to bring to you those very facts by means of this collection of videos. If you find this attempt of ours to be impressive, please like and share this video. And to show us some support, please subscribe to our channel Dopamine. Thank you.